What's up with y'all? This your boy BCP Intro back at you again with another video. You heard me. Today is gonna be a quick, simple video. It's just more in depth on my undervolt settings. I don't know if I can call it undervolt, but we will see. So meet me back here after the intro. Alright, we are back, man. Let's get into it. So I think I'm gonna go with my CPU first, and don't worry about the activate Windows mark. I went through all type of shit with that. Just ignore it. I'm not dealing with that right now. But we're gonna open up. I put it to this screen. Originally it was like 1.3 volts if I'm not mistaken, and as you can see, this is where I got it to be stable at. I just dropped it down to 44.75 and dropped it down to this. I mean, I can get it to go to like 45, pretty much still be stable, you know what I'm saying? So my goal was to drop the voltage as much as possible while still being able to boost. That was the most important part to me. That was the biggest thing, I didn't want to not be able to boost just to save power, you know what I'm saying? Big shout out to AMD. It still runs good. I can go to 4.6. Depending on what I'm running, it will get unstable a little bit. And really, if I just up the voltage a little bit more, still below, stock voltage, it's still good. I got the CPU V-Core mode on static, which means the voltage never change. It stays where it's at. Because if I go to dynamic, it'll fluctuate a little bit from my knowledge and what I went through, I don't think I mess with this too, the V-Core SoC voltage as well. I don't know how much that plays a part, but you can let me know down in the comments what this even do. Everything seems to be fine right now, you know what I'm saying? So let's go to my fan curves before we get into the GPU. My fan setup is very boot, right? So I have the normal fan setup, but I also have 2 extra fans that I added to the case, and they're not supposed to be in there. I've showed y'all this before, but I'm gonna try to show y'all again. So let me get this camera because I'm using my webcam. So this fan here, it came from a stock Intel CPU cooler. I just wrapped it in, and it's sinking in a little bit up here at the top, you know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, let's just remove the panel. Okay, so now we can get a better look. My webcam don't have much give right now, so we have to do what I can. It is getting air and just feeding it into the GPU, and it keeps it fairly cool, you know what I'm saying? This fan right here is a part of these fans up here at the top. I don't know if you can see them. I just separated them. I made this one intake these exhaust. These and this one, you probably can't see it, but it's a black fan right there. That and those at the top are connected on the motherboard together as exhaust, and this one here and this one is connected together as intake. These at the front are not connected to the motherboard at all. There's a fan hub that also controls the fan speed as well as the RGB. So it is ARGB, but it only has its own connection, so I can't connect the other ones. And of course, we have the CPU fan, and it's on its own pretty much. Yeah, so let's get back into explaining what I'm doing with my fan curves. All right, here we go, man. So as you can see, we're on CPU. This is my CPU fan curve. When I first started with this PC, I had the CPU fans maxed out, which is okay because it's not really that loud, you know what I'm saying? And what I try to do is get a head start on when the heat starts to ramp up, you know what I'm saying? Keep it balanced or keep it at a decent temp, and that usually will stop it from getting so hot, or it's easier to cool down. Like it basically makes it have to work harder to get hotter. You know what I'm saying? That makes sense. I'm not a professional. We just got it so about 60% once it hits 50 degrees Celsius. And then once we hit 60 degrees Celsius, we had 80. And once we hit 70, we full blast because I don't even like it hitting 70. And I was actually able to keep it under 70 degrees Celsius. And mostly because the games I play them at 60 frames per second. So that tends to not get as hot, you know what I'm saying? Because I realized I can have my same settings, but if I'm playing the game and I don't cap my frame rate at 60 frames per second, it starts to pull my wattage, even though the undervolt I have on it, and I'm talking about the GPU. But I cap it and it kind of keeps it good. So yeah, that is the CPU fan curve. Let me go down to we have System 1. System 1 is my exhaust, right? So those 3 fans that I showed y'all together. So it's the black fan, which is a rear exhaust. We have the top 2 exhausts, right? So this is the curve for this. I tend to favor it not exhausting as much, and it's only because the front fans are not controlled by this. So I have to get my remote to control the speed of them, and that's just too much. And also the reason why I got those at the front for intake is because they have a higher RPM than those 2 top exhaust fans. I get it to where this ramps up only when it really has to, and I don't have it going full blast until it hits like 80 degrees Celsius, you know what I'm saying? I keep the intakes on full blast because I'm not going to be changing it. And then they're not that loud. They're really not loud at all, really. The only problem you'll have with those is I had moved it kind of close to the front of the case just so I can fit that screen and, you know, that extra intake fan in there. So you'll have that kind of noise coming in, but it's not really that bad most of the time. Now when we go to System 2, this is only those 2 extra intake fans. And I usually have those on full blast, but I've been changing it, you know, to make it as less noise as possible, you know what I'm saying? The 2 top exhaust fans and that extra fan, those are a group. They tend to get pretty loud when you ramp them up. So what I'm gonna do is let y'all hear that right quick, and you're just gonna hear the 2 top ones by themselves. So let's do a noise test right quick. I'm moving my mic over. Okay, here we go. It gets pretty loud. And when I bring it back regular, this audio is going to sound shitty because I got the effects off. But once I go back to manual and you just hear the you can hear the difference already. As you can see already, those front fans are really not that loud. They just have that annoying noise, but it never comes up. None of this comes up in my videos because of how good SteelSeries GG is. Like, you really can turn a shitty microphone into almost professional sounding, you know what I'm saying? And I'm also an audio engineer, so that was right up my alley, you know what I'm saying? Because even if I didn't find that, I can actually use my audio mixing DAWs and stuff like that to do some pre-effects. But it works pretty good. And no, this is not an ad for them. I'm not sponsored by them or nothing like that. I'm just telling y'all what it is, man. But this is everything I've done with my fan curves and stuff like that. We're gonna go to, as you can see my background, this is the color theme I have inside my PC. So that's why it's different shades and gradients or whatever. Anyway, so now we're done with that. We got everything back to normal. We're gonna open up MSI Afterburner, which is on my second screen. That's where I keep everything. So now we're here. I boosted the memory 1000 megahertz because most GPUs can handle that out the gate. You know what I'm saying? My son has a 1050 Ti, and out the gate it can handle plus 1000 megahertz, and it works fine. Now, difference is the max it's allowed to go to on MSI Afterburner is 1000 megahertz, so it's maxed out. But on here, as you can see, we still got a lot more room. So I'm thinking we can do like an extra 1000, but not this card and not this system. It is not gonna work. Sometimes I boost it up to like right here, and we can go through my presets. Like if I go through, you can see, and sometimes it boosts, sometimes it doesn't. You know what I'm saying? It all depends. But if I go here, I have these presets for different things. When I'm rendering or exporting videos, I go with the high core clocks, you know what I'm saying? When I'm gaming, I would probably go more memory overclock, but we're talking about undervolt. So as you can see, you look at the voltage, and this is a high undervolt actually. Like, I actually go lower than that. So if I were to, let's see, let's press Control F to bring up our curve and frequency editor. And you just basically choose, so if I want to go right to, let's go to 975, I'm sorry. And let's say I just wanted to boost to like 1935. It might go to 1930, but we're gonna see. What you'll do is press L to lock that in, and then you'll go back to MSI Afterburner, and then you will accept it, you know what I'm saying, lock it in. So now we're at 1920, but it's gonna stay there the whole time regardless of what you're doing or not. To me, it's kind of a good thing, because sometimes when I'm exporting videos, the GPU don't boost all the time. So my thing is, and then I don't use a lot of it, you know what I'm saying? So it kind of, if it's gonna use a little percentage of it, at least it's gonna be a fast percentage. If that makes sense, I don't know. But yeah, that's what I do with that, man. So as you can see, 8200 megahertz memory, 1900 on the core clock, and sometimes I have it undervolted sitting around like 1965. If I was to go back into the curve editor, pull this up right here, I'll go around like 933. I can actually get it to like 1965, and that's decent enough for me. We'll just go like 1960, 1958, seem like it wants to be at, and that's actually just plus 93, because this card is factory overclock. So undervolting is usually harder on the factory overclock cards, but I managed to do a little something with it. So we're gonna go right here. We're gonna lock that frequency in by pressing L. We're gonna drop this down. We're gonna press bam, and I might drop the memory down there. So as you can see, it will actually stay there. That's the good thing about it. This works. And as long as I'm playing at 60 frames per second, it will stay locked. It will not go over 200 watts. And I'm like, as long as we under 200 watts. But when I'm at 60, it'll probably stay around maybe, I say the most like maybe 180 or something like that. And then if I drop the core clock down some, it'll be at like 150. And it always fluctuates between 150 to 190, but then it'll stay between that 130 to 160-ish range, and it'd be okay, you know what I'm saying? So those are the settings I have. I also tried to do the scan thing. It doesn't really do much with the auto overclocking thing. I also tried Nvidia's overclocking in the Nvidia app. It just does the same thing this does. Basically, it gives me plus 100 on the core clocks and plus 200 on the memory. And that's shit, because we all know that these cards can at least get plus 1000. You know what I'm saying? That's just crazy. Let's see what else I want to show you why I have you here. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna run a benchmark with Superposition, and we're gonna see what these settings actually are capable of. You know what I'm saying? So stick around. We about to get into that right now. Okay, we have Superposition open. We're gonna do 4K optimize, and then we might do our own custom settings. So let's go ahead and run this and see what we got, bro. So as you can see, we have finished all the benchmarks. I decided not to record it at all. But as you can see, so the top layer is the 1965 megahertz. The bottom is the 1920 megahertz. As you can see, let me use my mouse. At 1920 megahertz at 4K optimized, we got a score of 8310, max frame 68, average 62, and minimum is 51. We got a GPU temp of max 65, min 46. It's okay, it ain't the best, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna go down to the 1965 megahertz. Okay, as you can see, we got a score of 8412. The max FPS is 79, the average is 62, and the minimum is 53. We got a max temp of 66, and we got a minimum of 47. And this is also 4K optimized. You know, it's a little bit of a difference. For the 1920 megahertz, we got 9267. We got a max of 82, a minimum of 69, an average of 69, and a minimum of 58. For the temps, we got 65 and 46. And once again, it was 1440p, high shaders and high textures. We're gonna go down to 1965 megahertz. We got 9338. We got a max FPS of 84, average 69, and minimum 58. And it's a decent jump, you know what I'm saying? It's really not that much, you know what I'm saying? So I really don't recommend the power draw that you would get from that, you know what I'm saying? But it's a little bit of a gain. We got temps, max temp 66. We got minimum is 48. And this is also 1440p, high shaders, high textures. And that's pretty much what it is, man. I've been going through some shit trying to get these benchmarks because I was recording and I had all type of stuff running in the background, and so I just decided not to record it. But yeah, this is it, man. These is my overclock undervolt settings for my CPU and GPU. I would run center bitch, but I mean it don't matter. Not at this point. You know what I'm saying? I might not. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, man, this has been your boy BCP Intro, and I will see y'all next time, man. Yeah.